The Solitaire Series, Episode 33, The Jack of Spades, by Troy Lampert, narrated by Troy Lampert. You've got an ace up your sleeve, an ace in the hole. You twist, you squirm, closer to the goal. But as you play your hand, you understand. Your life, this night, nothing goes as planned. You've been captured long before you got caught. The chains are stronger, so much stronger than you thought. Alec watched, just as he had been told. A woman went into the building, a limousine service. A few moments later, he heard a couple of gunshots, and she ran out with another man. They left, but he did not follow. Instead, he waited. Something else was happening. He heard sirens in the distance. It was time to go. As he started his car and was about to turn the headlights on, he saw another man slip from the shadows. The figure hurried to an SUV, the engine started, and he pulled away from the curb. Knowing it was time to go, and following his gut instinct, Alex followed the SUV. After several minutes of driving and a variety of twists and turns, a route Alex was sure would cause him to lose his target, the man pulled up in front of a small building. Another large SUV was parked out front as well. Again, Alec watched. About 10 minutes later, the man he'd followed came out, leading a Doberman who kept looking back at the door as they walked. The man appeared to order the dog into the SUV and left. Alec stayed. The Doberman was Jack's, he was sure of it. That meant Jack was inside. He didn't want to know any more about Jack or his dog. He didn't want any part of actually entering the building where Jack had gone. Odds were that would result in his death. And odds were his specialty. As a betting man, no, at least for now, a non-betting man, he would say those odds were as near sure as any odds could be. His mission, the way he would repay his debts and hopefully get back on the path to liquidity and some kind of sanity, was to watch and report, which he fully intended to do. His car, acquired since he started with Solitaire as a collector too, or so they called it, was far from nondescript. It might not be his much longer, as he was 90 days past due on the payments, so the repo man couldn't be far behind. Considering where he'd made his purchase, he was sure the car was low-jacked, and every morning when he came outside and it was still there, he felt a sense of relief. From the rich center console, the one with too small to hold a normal-sized beverage cup holders, he pulled his phone, shaking it to activate the screen. It opened when he showed it his face, and he tapped the phone icon. A rap on the window startled him, and he dropped the phone into his lap. He looked to the right and saw a giant gun barrel, one that looked like a tunnel at this angle, and a naturally large, leather-clad hand held it steady, and it tapped on the window again. "Jesus," he said. He reached for the key, turned it on, and powered the window down. "Get out," a voice said calmly. Calmly. It was steady, unemotional, smooth even, all business. "Just a sec, I dropped my phone." "You don't need it," the voice said. "This won't take long." "Okay," he said, as the gun gestured upward, indicating he should stand. "But my keys." "Your car will be fine here. We know your situation. Come with me." Alec raised his hands. "I'm coming." He stood, but slowly, trying to look around beyond the giant bullet dispenser filling his vision. "Now," the voice said. The gun withdrew just slightly, and Alec could see the man was not alone. There were two others with him. Jess, the car. One man, clearly Jess, stepped to one side and stood by the back door. "I'm Frederick, and you are—" "Alec," he interrupted the other man. He wanted to say his own name. It seemed if someone else were to say it, they would own it. He didn't want that at all. He had been through enough. Once already in the last 24 hours, he had been caught. It seemed he was caught again, this time by someone else. "As I said, we know your name. You're our guest for the moment. There is someone who wants to meet you. Let me warn you, you don't want to mess with him at all." "Okay." He may want you to play a game. It's kind of his thing. Do as he asks. Got it. I hope so. Let's go. Frederick grabbed him by the arm and pulled him along. Alec's feet moved of their own accord. The rare occasions he stumbled on the sidewalk, his escort righted him. 4 houses down, they turned and went through a gate. It was a quaint but old-style house for Vegas, in better shape than the ones on either side. It was freshly painted blue, sported a decent roof from what he could see, a sharp contrast to the peeling shingles on the one next door. The steps were wooden, freshly rebuilt and painted the same color as the house. A white railing decorated the front porch, creating the illusion of a home and a neighborhood in its prime. The door opened with a bang. Frederick, get the fuck in here. They stepped inside, and Alec couldn't believe his eyes. The living room, if it could be called that, stretched nearly the length of the home. Any bedrooms must be either in the floor over them or some kind of basement. A giant poker table dominated the space. Behind it stood a man dressed in a suit that was, well, horrendous. The color was a ridiculous maroon. A plaid green tie hung over a blue striped dress shirt. Over the top of both, a large gold chain dangled, one with an oversized crucifix hanging from it. His face was scarred, not as bad as Jack's, but not pretty either. His eyebrows were crazily penciled on, where hair clearly no longer grew. Clearly, his teeth were man-made and too large for his mouth, but dazzling white. They protruded between his lips. Alec, nice to meet you. The man came around to the table. In his left hand, he held a deck of cards. You don't know me. My name is Mr. Suede. Mr. Suede? Alec asked, but then found his hand being pumped up and down. Yes. Frederick, you can go now. Tell Terry thanks for putting us in touch. You're welcome. Jess is on the car, and Chet's got the door. Fine, fine. The man waved at him, and the big dark man left the room. Whew, that's a relief. That man, while useful, can throw some shade. He certainly chills the room. I suppose, Alec said. Relax, relax. I just want to talk. Talk about what? Alec was truly confused about who this man was, and as much shade and cold as Frederick threw, he felt more comfortable with him here than without. At least his brand of cool was a known commodity. Do I make you nervous? The man moved closer. Why am I here? From the corner of his eye, he saw movement outside the window. You may have knowledge I need, and you may not. Either way, I would love to be friends, if that's possible. We can certainly try. Good, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Sit. Alec followed his direction and took a chair. Mr. Suede did the same. I know you work for Solitaire, but you are low level, no? I am. A collector, too, so they tell me. I just encourage people to pay their debts. You are good at this? Reasonably so. You're a gambler, though. Yes. Alec glanced outside again. He saw a Ford sedan, one he didn't think had been there before. And in debt to them? Yes, Alec said, uncertain what else he should, or even could, add. Others? No. Not yet, he should have added. I see, and this assignment to watch Jack is what? A payback? How do you know? Unimportant. Your answer? Yes. What were you supposed to do when you knew where he had ended up? Call and report. Nothing else? Do you know what's going on in there? No. Okay. What I want you to do is call in your report first, just as you were told. I can do that. I was about to when I was interrupted. Ah, yes. I will have Jess get your phone for you. Thanks. Then, after the call, I want you to go inside. Go inside? Yes. I want to know what Jack is doing and who he is doing it with. How would I do that? They don't know me from anyone. That's why Solitaire picked me for this job. If we spotted you, do you think whoever is inside didn't? Well, And if I can, with my resources, find out who you are and who you work for, what do you think they know? What makes you think anyone will let me inside? Because I am going to give you a ticket. A ticket? Just then, there was a knock at the door. Who the fuck could that be, I wonder? Alec sat as Mr. Suede moved around the table to the door. As he opened it, a small woman kicked it in. The door struck him in the nose, and he stepped back. The woman held a gun in her hand and was followed closely by a large black man wearing a Vegas Raiders sweatshirt and a ball cap. He looked uncomfortable, but moved easily. What the fuck? Mr. Suede yelled. He reached in his jacket, but the woman was faster. Pull that out nice and slow and drop it on the floor. Mr. Suede did as he was told. Good boy, she said. Let's go back and sit down. The pair turned to look at Alec. He was sure his face must be pasty white. You're Alec? Low-level solitaire? The woman asked. I am. I wish people would stop calling him low-level, even if it was true. I'm not with him, just... I know. I followed you here, sort of. I don't know what that means. Later. For now, Mr. Suede, was it? Let's have a seat. The man went back to his side of the table and sat. The woman sat across from him, the gun pointing at his head. He picked up the deck of cards and absently shuffled. Cynthia, is it? Or is it Janice? Ace told me about your identity. He didn't tell me much about you, she said. Alex looked from one to the other. They knew each other and clearly didn't like each other. No matter. And Bert, you are a loser. You should be dead. Your guys missed. Did they now? Jess and Chet? If you mean the two guys outside, they won't bother us. Okay. I have some questions. You will answer them. Confidence. I like that. If I don't? She gestured with the gun. A smile crossed Mr. Suede's face. You're FBI or something, right? His teeth threatened to leap onto the table of their own volition. They made Alec sick to his stomach. Let's say this visit is in less than a professional capacity. There are fewer rules. I see. Do you want to live, Mr. Suede? The man shrugged. The huge tie moved up and down under the crucifix. Alec grimaced again. Whether you do or not, you want to answer my questions. Do I? Do you know what this might mean? Do you know what this might mean? Bert said. It was the first time he had spoken, and Alec took note of his smooth, cultured voice. His discomfort was not just with the situation. He didn't belong in those clothes, in this place. Alec looked down and saw his shoes. The Oxfords stood out in sharp contrast to the rest of his outfit. He took an envelope from the center pocket of his sweatshirt and slowly opened it. Cynthia, or Janice, Alec was unsure which one was her real name at this point, seemed surprised. Bert, where did you... He shushed her. Alec thought that was probably a bad move, but he did it anyway. He opened the note and slipped a card out from between the folded paper. It looked like he hadn't seen the contents before either. There was something on the outside of the envelope, too. Alec saw flecks of rust-colored liquid, some of which still looked damp. Blood. Bert turned the card around and revealed a 5 of spades. Alec thought of his 4 of spades, safely in his pocket, and gulped. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Bert smoothed out the paper, and they all leaned in to see it. NYT 8369, one line read. Below it were 3 groups of 5 letters. I haven't, Alec said. Is it some kind of code? I was asking him, Bert said. His voice took on an edge, and Alec wondered just how dangerous this man might be. I think so, Mr. Suede said, although I cannot interpret it. It is the Solitaire code. I have only heard about it. Huh. Bert fingered the card. He pointed at the deck Suede was still playing with. Give me the 5 of spades. The man laughed. "Do it," Cynthia said. She stood as the words fled her mouth. "Now." At some point, the momentum had shifted to Bert, but it shifted back. Mr. Suede grinned, and Alec saw him looking behind all of them. "Look out!" he yelled. A shadow moved, but Janice Cynthia moved faster. "Drop it," she said. A silenced gunshot sounded just over a whisper. Mr. Suede's face exploded, the back of his head decorating the wall behind him. A large man stood there, his pistol now dangling from his trigger finger, the barrel extended by what Alec guessed to be an overly large silencer. "I'm here to help," he said. "Name's Frederick. Where did you get that?" He gestured at the note on the table. "Drop it," the woman said. He did. "Who are you?" "I'm Frederick, like I said. I work for a couple of different people. You're looking for Jack Bardlow, yes?" "Yes." "What you have right there could be your ticket to getting into that house to see him." His eyes found Alec's. "Who will get in?" Alec asked. "You. They know the rest of us." "And how will I get in?" Frederick smiled at that. He gestured at the table. "May I?" The woman nodded. "You are Cynthia, right?" "That'll do for now." "I'm going to pick up those cards." His huge hands expertly shuffled through the deck. First he fanned them out facing him, then shuffled them again and held the deck, fanned out, face down, toward Alec. "Pick a card, any card." Alec carefully chose one from the center of the deck. "Now look at it." He did. It was the 5 of spades. Incredible. "It's the 5, right?" Frederick said. "You better explain yourself quickly, starting with why you shot him." Cynthia was dead serious. "He would only have been a problem for all of us." "Do better. I'm going to get you in that house." "It is," Alex interrupted. "It is what?" Cynthia asked. "The 5 of spades." "Let me see it." Frederick smiled as he took the card and compared it to the one he'd taken from his pocket. He made a tiny fold in the corner to match the original and handed it to Alec. "You'll take this. Ask for Joseph. Tell him you have something he wants. When the guards ask what, which they will, show this card to them. Don't hand it over, mind you. Just show it to them. It should get you inside." "Indeed. Then what?" "You'll be taken to see a man. Look at everything. Memorize everything you see." "Won't he know this is fake?" "Most assuredly. You can plead ignorance. Hopefully, if all goes well for you, they will simply kick you out and send you packing." "And if they don't?" "Well, I'd rather be me than you at that point." "Why should I do this?" "Because this," Frederick tapped the 5 of spades from the note, "I think this is the other half of what Jack has, what Joseph and Solitaire so desperately want. At least, I think so. And this code, this little group of code, reveals how to use the two together." "How do you know?" "I don't. Like I said, I think. We need Jack and what he has to be sure, and the knowledge he has in his head." "Can you crack the code?" "I'm going to try while you're inside." "Who are you?" "A gambler, like you. That's how I got recruited. But I played with codes in college, and I think I know this one. It's obscure, but we might have the solution right in front of us." "Why should we trust you?" Cynthia asked. "Has anyone else ever recognized what this might be?" "How do you even know what it is?" "Because Ace, the man I work for, knows, and a guy named Albert. We should probably call him." "For whatever reason, I'm going to roll with this," she said. "But if you try anything at all," she gestured with the gun. "Fine," Alex said, interrupting again. "I'll go." "You better. Joseph won't stick around forever." "Indeed he won't," a voice came from the door. Alec jumped, and Cynthia spun, staring. A man stood there, holding a large revolver. He pointed the gun at Cynthia. Without the need for instruction, she lowered her weapon to the floor. "Who the hell are you?" Frederick asked. "A friend of Mr. Suede's," the man said, "and we're all going to play a game." "A game? We don't have time for games." "Oh, we will make time," the man said. Frederick lunged, and the newcomer gestured the revolver at him. Sit back down. We haven't had a chance to talk yet." "No, we haven't," Cynthia said. "But we will all be good friends by the end of the evening, because we can indeed help each other out." "How is that?" "Because Pick, who Bert got this card and note from, had one piece of the puzzle. You are right, but I know far more about it than you do." "Really? How is that?" "Because my father had another piece of the puzzle. Much like yours, he left it to me at the end of his life. I found it just recently." "I found mine recently, too." "The time has come. Things are, shall we say, progressing?" The revolver didn't waver, but the man reached inside his jacket pocket and pulled out a jack of spades. "So, we will play a quick game. It won't take much time, just to get to know each other. Then, Mr. Alec here will go find out some things for both of us, armed not with one key, but with two." The newcomer moved around the back of the table away from Alec and Frederick. He kicked Mr. Suede's body out of the chair, and it thudded to the floor. He sat and then indicated the deck of cards. "May I?" he asked. Frederick nodded. The new arrival picked up the cards, shuffled and cut, and then presented a fan to Alec. "Pick a card, any card." Alec waffled between a couple and then chose. He held the Jack of Spades. The cards danced in the newcomer's hands again, and they were shuffled and reshuffled. He dropped 3 more cards, one at a time. On the left, 4 of them sat, unmoving. 2 Jacks of Spades and 2 5 of Spades were showing. "A quick hand of crazy 8s, and we'll be on our way," he said. Sit. I'll deal." Thanks for listening to the Solitaire series, episode 33, The Jack of Spades. Next up, episode 34, The 7 of Hearts.